Now, if you look at your example number 3 on the notation, okay, you're going to see there are accents applied here, and there are some that are not necessarily that comfortable to begin with. Okay, so it's very important that you break this down, okay, section by section. I'm going to play it, the 2 bars on loop with the accents, but it's really important that you break it down beat by beat if necessary. If I'm working this kind of stuff out, I'll always break it down beat by beat, okay, before I go putting the whole thing together, because I want to make sure I've got it right, okay. So that rhythm that we've been working through, I'm now going to apply those accents that you see on example 3, okay, and here we are. Now, it completely changes the feel of it, because we've gone from this to this, applying the sticking, to this, applying the accents to the sticking, okay, those accents, as you're looking at them, there's some quite nasty lefts in there. If you're not used to this type of thing, there's some quite nasty left-hand accents in there. If you haven't come across this stuff before, then there are some really good exercises that you can practice for this type of thing. You can take a bar of 16th notes and you can move accents throughout all the notes. So you're going to be playing some on your left, some on your right. My advice would be to just find an accent exercise, or even better, create an accent exercise for yourself where you're really pushing yourself to figure this kind of stuff out. What you can then do, which is only what I've done here to create this, is apply stickings to it, okay, and try and turn it into some kind of palatable groove. It might be something that you would never necessarily use on a gig. It could even get you the sack, but they're fun things to just kind of practice, and they increase your overall vocabulary, right? As you'll see as we move this groove through its various stages, okay? Now, we've applied the accents to the rhythm. Here we go one more time with the accents to the rhythm, okay? Okay, we've now moved through an introduction to the rhythm, applying sticking to the rhythm and applying accents to the rhythm, okay? What we're now going to do is we're going to now put that rhythm, okay, with the sticking and the accents across the kit. Now, by across the kit, I don't mean we're going to put it on everything, because we're not. We're going to put our right hand on the ride, okay, and we're going to have our left hand playing the hi-hat and the snare drum, all right? The snare drum is going to be playing a backbeat, okay, in a half-time feel kind of backbeat. Everything else is going to be as is. Here's the trick, okay? You're going to play your right-hand accents, so the accents you've been playing on the snare up until now. Here, you're now going to play with the shoulder of your stick, okay? So about there, on the bell of your ride. Now, if you haven't done this kind of thing before, these are really just fundamental, but if you haven't crossed this bridge before or even looked at it, then there's some work to be done here before you should approach this, okay? You play the accent, bell of your ride, okay, shoulder of your stick. Any non-accented notes, you're going to play with the tip of your stick on the body of your ride. okay? With your left hand, with these accents, two of them, or one of them in each bar, you're going to be playing as a backbeat. Okay? The rest of them though, as with the right hand, you're going to be playing with the shoulder of your stick, okay? Again, okay, on the side of the hat. So there, right there, okay? Exactly the same as if you were just playing kind of thing, right? So if you're doing it with your left hand. Now again, this is where the practice on the snare drum comes into play, okay? Because if you've got this stuff cooking on the snare drum, then it's a question of just looking at technique and adjusting your approach to these accents, okay? And you can even start playing it just on the body of the hats, if that helps, right? The non-accented notes, again, you're going to be playing with the tip of your stick on the body of the hi-hat, right? So again, you've got this sound, you've got two sounds from the hat here, and you've got two sounds from the ride. If you now look at example 4, you've now got that rhythm with that sticking applied, with those accents applied, orchestrated basically for the kit, okay? As a hand, you've got the hands there, right? And here's what that is. Now, it's important you don't forget here that the same rhythm you're playing there, right, is the same rhythm you were playing on the snare drum. When we first started this lesson, it's just how we're now approaching it, okay? And the techniques and the ways of doing things that we're applying to it which make it sound like that, okay? There's a few things here. One specifically that will throw you if you're not used to playing like this, okay? And that is, it's one thing playing this kind of stuff on a snare drum, it's an entirely different prospect to go taking these concepts and whacking them around the kit and moving hands around. It all gets a bit confusing. So again, it's just slow practice, okay? It's just slow practice. With practice, it's possible. If you don't practice it, it won't happen, okay? Again, I'll slow it down a bit. Okay. What we're now going to do is we're going to look at the feet, because it's not going to be a groove unless we've got some other stuff going on.